What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yejide, and if it's your first time stopping by, you are welcome. So today I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful corset dress. So this is a 3-in-1 video because I'll be showing you guys how to make a corset, how to add yoke to your corset, and also how to make a basque waistline. So guys, if you're interested in this, let's just get right into the video. I'll be needing about 1.5 yard of Ankara fabric, and I'll be needing half yard of this black crepe for the basque, that's from under bust to the waistline, and also for the back. Then I'll be needing 1 yard of this net lace. This is for the yoke for front and back, and also for the sleeves. Then I'll be needing wadi to pad my cups, my breast cups. Then I'll be using this tissue stay also, and this black bias. Then I'll be needing my plastic boning to give structure to my dress, and also this zipper. So guys, from the last tutorial I already drafted a basic bodice pattern, so this is exactly what I have here. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it down in the description box below. So guys, this is the front pattern. So I'm just going to label this. We have the chest line, the bust line, the under bust, and also the waistline. Then you can see I have my darts here, and just watch the video to do this if you haven't done that before. So now the first thing I'll do is to come to this my shoulder line, and I'll measure what I have here and divide it by 2. I'm going to mark the middle of that, and I'm going to connect that to my bust line. I'll draw that with my ruler. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll measure what I have from my bust line to my under bust, and I'm going to use that measurement to form a circle round this bust line. I already drew the circle before, but I didn't know it wasn't recording, so that is why I'm doing this again. So this is very simple. Just measure what you have from your bust line to your under bust, and I'll just measure this round. This is going to serve as a guide to get my cups. So I'll just connect all the dots like this to give me my full circle. So from the under bust, I'll come to this dart area and measure 1/2 inch on both sides of this dart area, and I'm going to connect this to the beginning of this dart below, like so. So now the next thing is to connect this back to the bust line with my curve rule. So now guys, I'm going to measure what I have in between this dart area, and I'm going to divide this on the top of my circle like this. So I had 1.5 under the in between the darts, so I'm going to measure 1/2 inch towards the center front, and I'm going to measure 1 inch to this other side here, and I'm going to connect these with my straight ruler into the bust line like so. So now guys, I'm going to come to this same measurement I just made and measure 1/4 inch. This is to tighten my cup, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. Just measure 1/4 inch, and I'm going to be connecting this back to my lines. So now next thing is to come to this my center front, and from my chest line I'll come down by 1 inch, and I'll go in by 1/2 inch. I'll just connect these 2 points like so. This is my chest area, and I'm going to be connecting this back into my circle. Then I'll also connect this down into the dart below like so. So I'll come to this armhole area and divide this part into 2. I had 2 inches, and I'll divide the middle is 1 inch. So from that point I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and I'm just going to draw a straight line from that point like so. I'm going to extend that line. So from that point I made, that is a guide to also get the top of this my cup. I'm going to connect this back into the cup above. So I hope you can see what I'm doing, and I'm also going to use my curve rule to connect this back below. So you can see my cups are already formed. I'm just going to label this, and I'm going to thicken my vital point. This is the shoulder area, the neck area, the armhole also. So guys, we are basically done with this front pattern. I'm just going to cancel the darts I don't need. So I'm going to come to my chest area and take my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm also going to measure this dart from this middle. This is 2 inches. I'm going to add it back, and I'm also going to add 1.5 inch of sewing allowance. Then the same thing, my waist, I'll measure my waist and measure back that dart, which is 1 inch, and I'm also going to add 1.5 inch sewing allowance, and I'm going to connect these 2 points like so, and also thicken this waist area below. So guys, I'm done with this. I'm going to label this part my yoke, and I'm going to cut this out. So guys, please watch me carefully as I'm cutting this. You don't want to mess your cups or your yoke area up, so you want to be very careful when cutting this area. So guys, you can watch me carefully the way I'm cutting this, so you can do yours the same way. So now guys, I'm going to label both cups like this, so I can know how they are facing each other, you know, when I'm cutting. So now guys, to get that basque waistline effect, I'm going to tape these 2 pieces like so. And now to get my basque waistline, I'm going to be joining this new piece of paper to this, and I'm going to tape both together. So now from this center of my waist, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. You can go down by 5 inches, but I'll come down by 4 inches, and I'm going to be connecting this back into my waistline. So guys, the lowest you should come down by is 5 inches, you know, so that you can easily join this when you are joining to your skirt part. So now guys, these are the front pieces. I have my basque, I have my cups, and my yoke. So now I'm done with this front piece. So guys, now for the back piece, it's also the same thing. You are going to make use of a basic bodice pattern for this. You can watch that video. That was my last video. I'm going to link it in the description box below. So guys, I've gone ahead to take my measurements, you know, my bust measurement, under bust, and also waistline. Then you can see my chest area also. So now guys, this is the yoke part. So the only difference in this back is that the neck depth is going to be much deeper. You can see I just made a V to connect to my chest area. So I'm going to cut this part out, and I'm also going to cut out my dart, so there's no need to take that on my main fabric. So I'll just tape these 2 together like so, and I'm done with the back piece also. So guys, you can see the back piece, you can see the yoke and the other part, and also for my front piece. So I'm going to be cutting my fabrics out with this pattern, and I'm going to show you guys when I'm done. So guys, you can see I've gone out to cut out my patterns. You can see for my front yoke, I made use of my net, and also for the back, I made use of net to cut the yoke parts. And for the cup area, you can see I made use of my Ankara. So guys, when cutting this yoke part, you can see this shoulder part, I left 1/2 inch. This is going to serve as sewing allowance, and also for this down part, that's my joining allowance here. And you can see for these cups, you can see I left 1/2 inch round my cups for joining. Then for the basque, you can see also I left 1/2 inch as joining allowance. I used my black crepe to cut my basque, so I didn't leave any sewing allowance at the other side because we already left sewing allowance there. So guys, you can see for the back yoke also I left 1/2 inch sewing allowance for the net. And you can see this other part where I used my crepe. You can see because when cutting the back pattern, I didn't leave zip allowance. So you can see here I left about 2 inches, which is going to serve as my zipper allowance, and I left 1/2 inch above and also below for joining allowance, but I didn't leave anything by the side because we already did that. I already did that when cutting. So now guys, for each of these pieces, I've gone to cut lining for them, and I also added my gum stay to all the pieces, to both main fabrics and also lining pieces. So now guys, it is time to join our cups. So guys, when cutting, you want to make sure your papers, your cup pieces are well arranged. So now guys, for my cups, I'm going to use my office pins to join the middle, and I'm going to sew this by 1/2 inch, and this is what it's going to look like when I'm done. So guys, let's go ahead to do that. So now guys, you can see for both pieces I've joined the middle by 1/2 inch, and I've gone to iron it out. So now I'm just going to be making notches in between so my cups can relax well, and I'm going to, you can see I've gone ahead to press this open. So guys, you already know your cup is, or your corset is going to make sense if your cup has space for your breast to sit in. So guys, I've also gone ahead to cut out wording with the exact cup measurement I made, but for this wording, don't add sewing allowance when cutting. So I'll be joining this wording cup straight in the middle, you can see like so, and I'm going to be gumming this to my main cup. So guys, you want to gum that part that has the gum to the main fabric, and you can make use of your tailor's arm to help you achieve this. So I'm going to do this with my pressing iron. I'm going to do the same thing for the other cup. So guys, you can see I've attached my wording to my main fabric, and this is what they look like. This is going to give structure to my cups. So now guys, for the basque waistline, you can see for the crepe, I've gone ahead to add my tissue stay also. So for this middle, I'm going to get the middle of this part, and I'm just going to chalk this down like so. And guys, I'm going to draw a straight line. This is a guide for my boning casing. So guys, I'm going to be making different designs on this my basque. You can make use of the same thing I'm doing, or you can form your own designs. So guys, all these designs I'm making, I'm going to be placing my bias on them. This is going to serve as my casing, my boning casing. So guys, I'm going to sew on both sides of my bias, and I'm going to show you when I'm done. So guys, you can see I've gone ahead to place my bias on all the marks I made earlier. So now guys, it is time to join my cups. So guys, when joining your cup, you want to make sure you place the right cups at the right point. So now guys, to join the cups, that part that has the joining on the cup, you want to make sure that part is facing the middle of this area like so, and I'm going to just pin this down from the middle to the side. And after pinning this down, my office pin, I'll come back to this middle and also pin the other side. So guys, this is it. Then I'm just going to sew round. You can see I'm going to sew round with my sewing machine, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So guys, this is it. I'm done sewing both of my cups to my basque, and now I'm going to add my yoke to this front part. So you can see I'm just going to remove the pins from this my pattern paper. And guys, before I join my yoke to my basque, I'm going to be trimming this neck. I want to make this neck deeper so it won't choke me. So guys, I'm going to come down from the beginning. I'm going to measure. I'm going to be cutting this from the 7 inches. You can see what I did here. So this is just to make my neck deeper. So now guys, before joining the yoke to the basque, I'm going to trim this area also, so I don't have excess net here. So I'm just going to place this pattern on the yoke area like so, and I'm going to use my chalk to define the neck area so that my sweetheart neck can be very very much obvious. So I'm just going to trim this part like so, and I'm going to join the yoke now to the basque pattern. So now guys, I'm going to pin this from the middle, and I'm going to join the side. So guys, when sewing this, I'm going to be joining this from the middle to one side first, then I'll come back to the middle also and connect to the other side. So guys, you can see I've gone ahead to join from my middle to one side and coming back to the middle to the other side. You can see that the sweetheart neck is well formed. So now guys, for my lining pieces, I've also gone ahead to join my cups to my lining pieces, and I also added wording to my lining piece. So now to join my lining piece to the main fabric, I'm going to make sure both middles are well aligned, and I'm going to use my pins to hold down this middle. And guys, when joining this, you want to make sure you join from the middle to one part, to one end of this fabric, and also you come back to the middle to join to the other end of the fabric. And I'm also going to be joining the sides together, and I'm going to be doing this by 1/2 inch. So now guys, you can see I've joined the lining piece to the main fabric, and I've also gone ahead to join the sides, and I've gone ahead to iron this out also. So now guys, for the back pattern, you can see I've also gonna add to join my tissue stay to my back pattern, and I'm going to be joining my yoke first to the main fabric. So guys, this is what it looks like. I'm going to be using my bias to tape this neck area for the back like so. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. You know how you tape your bias to your neck area. So I'm going to sew this on the right side of the neck area first before turning to the other side. So guys, I'm gonna add to join my bias to my neck area. So now guys, I'm just going to notch my zipper area. You can see this part, I'm just notching my zipper area. So now guys, I'm going to place my net starting from that zipper area that I made. So I'm going to arrange my lining piece also, because I'm going to be sewing the 3 pieces together. So guys, I'm just going to use my pins to hold this down. And I'm going to be sewing by 1/2 inch and also sew both sides. So guys, you can see I've gonna add to sew one part, and this is the other part. I'm just turning this, so this is what it looks like. I've gonna add to iron this also. You can see it looking very flat and neat. So now guys, for the neck area for the front, I've also used my bias to turn it. So now I'm going to be joining the back piece to the front piece. So I'll just arrange the back piece on the front piece and join the shoulder area by 1/2 inch. So now guys, this is what it looks like. I've joined both pieces together. I'm just going to place this aside. So guys, I'm gonna add to cut the pencil skirt part. So now guys, I'm just going to notch the middle of this pencil skirt, and I'm going to draw a line here in the middle. And guys, I'm going to place my basque on this middle area. I'm going to make sure the middle are touching each other like so, and you can see I'm going to place the waist area on each other like this. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to trace out this basque waistline on my pencil skirt area like so. So now guys, I'm going to cut this out. So now when cutting, I'm going to be cutting by 1/2 inch away from the main line. This is going to serve as my joining allowance. So guys, this is it. So guys, before joining my pencil skirt to the basque, I'm going to be inserting my bonings into my boning casings that I made earlier. So guys, when inserting your bonings, you want to make sure you use a lighter to smoothen the edges so that it won't be hurting you when you put on the dress. So now guys, when cutting your boning also, you don't want to cut the exact length of the bias that you've made, so that you can leave at least about 1/2 inch of sewing allowance, so that it won't give you issues when you are joining, unless you are making use of the Reginine boning, because you can sew on that. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead to fixing my bonings into all of the cases, and I'll show you when I'm done. So guys, I've inserted all of my bonings into my boning casings, and now I'm going to attach this to the skirt part. So guys, when attaching, I'm going to make sure the middle of this basque is well aligned with the middle of my skirt part. That V part, I'm going to make sure it aligns well on this skirt part. So I'm just going to be placing this here, and I'm going to use my pins to hold down, and I'm going to be joining the sides also by 1/2 inch. So guys, when joining this, you want to make sure you join from the middle to one part, and you come down to the middle and join to the other part also. And I'm gonna add to press this down. So you guys, you can see that our dress is already taking shape. This is what it looks like. So now guys, to join the back pieces also, I'm gonna add to cut the skirts, the back pattern also for the skirt with my Ankara fabric. So I'm just going to arrange the skirts pieces like so, and I'm going to be attaching this to the back, the upper part of the back pattern, and I'm going to use my office pins to hold this down. And guys, when sewing this, I'm going to be sewing this by 1/2 inch, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. So guys, I'm gonna add to attach the back pieces together. I've also gonna add to join the zipper area. You can see I used my office pins to hold the zipper area, and I also didn't join the down part, you know, for my slits. So now guys, I'm just going to fix my zipper to this zipper allowance that I left here. So guys, I've gone ahead now to join my zipper to my zipper allowance. You can see when joining the zipper, I started from that neck area that is piped with bias. So guys, you can see my zipper sitting neatly in between these back pieces. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my measurements on this back pattern. You can see I measured my bust line, my under bust, and I went ahead to divide my bust circumference into 2, and I marked that. The same thing for my under bust and also my waist. So guys, from this half length, I came down by 8 inches to get my hip line, and I divided my hip circumference into 2 and measured that. So guys, I've gone ahead to chalk out my measurement on the back pattern. So I'm just going to be joining this together with the front pattern. I'm going to make sure both sides are well aligned like so, and I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now to join both sides. I'll show you guys when I'm done. So guys, I've gone ahead to join both sides together. This is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead now to turn this to the other side, and I'm going to press this with my pressing iron. So guys, you can see this. I've gone ahead to iron this. You can see it looking very flat and neat. So guys, behind the scene, I've gone ahead to cut out a basic sleeve. So before joining my sleeves to my armhole, I'm going to trim my armhole. You know, you want to trim your armhole to your armhole circumference. So I'm going to trim both armholes to my armhole circumference, and I'm going to be joining my sleeve to my armhole, and we are basically done with this tutorial. I'm going to put this on also to show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is the outcome of this beautiful corset dress. You can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give this video a big fat thick thumbs up, please. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm going to see you all in my next video. Bye.